Eric never believed in Bigfoot or Dogman. Those were just campfire tales meant to scare children. But the land between the lakes had its own way of changing minds. A place of disappearances, eerie screams, and cryptid predators lurking in the shadows. Here, legends were real. One cold February morning in 2017, Eric's skepticism crumbled. A dark form moved where no movement should have been. And in that moment, the stories he had dismissed became terrifyingly real. The clock read 5:30 a.m. Darkness still enveloped the world as Eric stumbled out of his bedroom, eyes bleary, thoughts clouded. He shuffled down the hall, the chill of the floor biting against his bare feet, making him shiver. The quiet hum of the coffee maker and the soft trickle as it brewed filled the silence of the early morning. The ordinary sounds and sensations grounded him, providing a false sense of calm before everything changed. As he passed the bay window over the kitchen sink, something caught his eye. A movement, barely perceptible at first, just a flicker in the mist. Slowly, the flicker became a form, a tall shadow emerging from the darkness of his backyard, stepping closer, becoming more defined with each heartbeat. The figure was barely visible in the half-light, shifting subtly as if it were merging with the morning haze, an oppressive presence that seemed to thicken the air around it. At first, Eric's half-awake mind registered it as a person, in a Batman costume complete with a backpack. As his vision sharpened, dread began to overwhelm him. The figure came into sharper focus, tall, broad, its shoulders hunched at unsettling angles, muscles shifting beneath dark, matted fur that clung tightly to its form. It moved with deliberate slowness, each step heavy, as if every movement drained the air from the yard, amplifying the tension. Its movements carried an eerie grace, like a predator that had perfected the art of stalking, its head tilting slightly as its eyes glinted with a cold, calculating intelligence. The silence of its movement was somehow the most menacing part, a predator that knew it was in complete control. And then it smiled. Not a physical smile, but a psychic one, an impression that wormed its way into his mind, carrying a sense of malevolence and power that sent chills down his spine. The creature's presence pressed into Eric's consciousness, probing his thoughts as if testing his resolve. He could feel the dark amusement, an oppressive pressure that left no doubt of its dark purpose. Eric sensed in his mind a message.
I could easily come through that house and tear you up.
The creature's head snapped towards the woods, a low, guttural growl resonating from deep within its chest. Its gaze locked back on Eric and a wave of dizziness hit him. He wasn't afraid, not exactly. It was more like awe, as if he was witnessing something terrible and ancient, a being that had prowled the earth long before man. His heart pounded, not from fear, but from the sheer, impossible presence of the thing. He instinctively knew he was in the presence of something that defied the natural world, and that realization left him more awestruck than frightened. The smile widened, and then the figure vanished, swallowed by the morning mist. A stench filled the air, like a kennel left uncleaned for weeks, mixed with something swampy and decaying, an acrid undercurrent that tightened Eric's throat and watered his eyes. It was as if the creature carried the raw decay of the wilderness, a reminder of its primal, untamed nature. The smell lingered long after the creature had vanished, triggering a memory from Eric's childhood. A stray dog trapped beneath his house, rotting and foul. In the weeks that followed, the air would feel unnaturally heavy at times, as if something unseen was close, its presence palpable but elusive. A flicker of movement deep in the woods, the sharp snap of a branch breaking the silence, the faint suggestion of footsteps outside his window, and that prickling feeling of being watched. At times he even felt it close, the same chill ran up his spine. His cats wouldn't come into his room for 2 months. When Eric tried to bring them in, they would scratch and panic, refusing to enter. Seeing the animals he trusted reacting with such fear unnerved him deeply, making the entire experience feel more real, as if the creature's presence had left an invisible mark. One morning, Eric found his swimming pool liner torn, deep claw marks raking through it. Water splashed everywhere. It seemed as if the creature had tried to drink from it, leaving a chilling reminder of its presence. This incident only deepened his unease, making him feel that no part of his property was safe. And that morning, as it vanished, Eric had the distinct impression it wasn't alone. There was something else out there. Eric's house was in a quiet suburban neighborhood, bordered by a small patch of woods that led to the land between the lakes. The LBL carried a dark reputation, strange disappearances, chilling encounters, and cryptid sightings, particularly of Dogman. This was a place where myths and reality intertwined, with creatures said to roam its depths. In the weeks leading up to the sighting, Eric sensed an unnatural stillness in the air, an uneasy feeling that something was watching. There were subtle signs at first: unusual animal behavior in the neighborhood, pets going missing, or dogs barking wildly at nothing. Then came the strange noises, low growls, branches snapping in the dead of night, keeping him on edge. A constant unease gripped him, refusing to let go. Then came the unmistakable stench of dog urine, pungent and invasive, always lingering in the late night or early evening. A clear sign that something was marking its territory. In front of his bedroom window, the grass appeared burnt, as if claimed by something unnatural. It filled Eric with both fear and anger. Fear of what could leave such a mark, and anger at the invasion of his space. He believed the creature had marked its territory that night, possibly when his cats had sensed it. Years later, Eric still finds himself scanning the tree line at dawn, half expecting to see that impossible figure emerge from the mist. The experience opened his eyes to the strange possibilities lurking in the shadows. Eric knows now that there are things out there that defy explanation, mysterious and beyond comprehension. Have you seen the Dogman? Deadnet Studios wants to hear from you. Share your experience at deadnetstudios@gmail.com and help us uncover the truth.
In the shadows of the digital night, we've wandered far and seen some sights, from haunting tales to eerie lights. Deadnet Studios, where fear ignites. So long, farewell from the crimson hollows. We'll be back again with more tales to follow. Keep the lights dimmed and your curiosity high. For in Deadnet's realm, the spirits never die. We've danced with ghosts, chased legends on, through cryptic codes, stories untold. In cyberspace, where mysteries unfold, our journey's been daring, brave and bold. So long, farewell from the darkened halls, where shadows whisper and the unknown calls. Keep your eyes wide and your mind astir, for the mysteries of Deadnet are a haunting blur. In the world of the strange and the unexplained, we find our stories wildly untamed. With each video's end,